Okay. I'm so sorry. I don't know what was going on there. But let's try this again. I'm going to wait for my guest to come in. And we'll just pick up where we left off. I was interviewing. There she is. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I think my phone got too hot, so it turned off.
Oh
It's so
dear.
weird. Yeah, I have not had that happen before, so maybe it's time
There's
for me to
always a
fix this.
first.
Oh
How
no.
someone else join? How do I go back live? Do I press live? I don't know. What do I
You're
do?
you're on right now. We're good. We're going.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
I can see you, but you can't see me. Can you
I
see
can
me?
see you. I can
Oh,
see you.
that's okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's just pick up where we left off. I'm so sorry. So we were
Oh,
talking
that's
about
okay. Yes.
we were
So I decided I was trying to write my autobiography
mhm.
or continue it, and I lost it. And then I got up and started typing again, and it came out in poetry. So I immediately said, after finishing the first piece, that whatever I'd written before wasn't meant to be. And I thanked God for giving me this, because I love poetry and I haven't written poetry since I'm the age of about 8 or 9. So
Wow.
this was a shock to me, and I just followed the blessing and
Yeah.
started writing a list of titles. And I thought, well, if this is the way I can write, I
Mhm.
felt it was achievable for me, because then I could focus on each title instead of trying to start at the beginning and go through my whole life. And up until 2018, I didn't realize I had enough poems, because they're all in varying lengths,
Mhm.
for a book.
Mhm.
Well, a short book. So
Yeah.
I am glad, because my goal was to achieve and publish a book in a year.
Mhm.
That was my target. And I did it.
And you did it. Yes.
I
Yes.
did
See?
it.
See
I
that
did it.
that's an awesome message. You know what I mean? That's a wonderful message.
But thanks to you, Ariella.
Thank
Thanks
you.
to
Yeah.
you encouraging me,
Mhm.
because I didn't know I could tell my story through poems. And I've had
Yeah.
a lot of good feedback so far.
Really? Okay.
Yes. And the story did evolve.
Mhm.
And so many things I would have forgotten to include in my biography came out.
Hmm.
I have met a poetry family called Soul Food Poetry, and that is inspiring, encouraging. My daughter sings. I've taken her along to poetry events with me. We've traveled to Europe, to Amsterdam, where I've gone and followed MP Fam on soul food poetry, and I've even done open mic.
Oh wow.
I've
Okay.
done open mic. Now, I'm an older lady. I may not look my age, but I'm not going to try and revise all of my poetry, because they're too long. You know, I leave that for the youngsters. Yeah, but I'll put on my granny glasses and I'll read my. I used to take my A4 poems with me in a pocket and just take it out and read it.
Yeah.
And it's lovely, because I've made some really good friends, young people.
Okay.
Yes, with
Yeah.
so much respect from this, all
Mhm.
ages, but yes.
Mhm.
And I didn't know there were poetry events going on in my neighborhood. So it's
Interesting. Yeah.
opened some doors, and I've published, and I look at the book and I can't believe I did this.
Yeah. Oh
I
my
can't
gosh.
believe I did it. I look at it and it's surreal.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
surreal, but it's all because of you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Hey, I'm so honored to be a part of your journey. We said what, 2 years? Almost
Nearly,
2 years. Yeah.
nearly 2 years. I can't
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all it takes is just that encouragement and even having the
Big
courage
time.
on your end to reach out for
Wow.
help and say, hey, you know, this is what I want to do. I'm not really sure where to start. Do you have an idea? And, you know, people enjoy talking about themselves. I just posted that the other day. You know, have the courage, speak up. People enjoy talking about themselves and giving advice, and I feel like
Yes.
that's the way to go. I think a lot of people, you know, if you give advice to someone who's not really asking for it, it kind of comes off as arrogant. And so you know, just on the being on the opposite end, I think sometimes I
Yes.
do wait, and then it's like, oh, well, if one person is asking me about this, maybe two or three, or there might be more people. And so just from there sharing that advice. And earlier you said something that was so funny, and I took it as a compliment, but then I took it as I need to change something. You had said that you thought Winn Publications was just a company because there was no picture of the person who ran it on there.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh, I was like, oh, that's awesome, because, you know, it was my vision was to look as professional as possible. So I was like, okay, that's great. But then I was like, maybe people need to get to know me, and
Yes.
that will also help. And so
Yes.
since then, I've been
Yes.
showing my face more, doing things like this more, and it's, you know, it's good. And so I agree. I definitely think we had met for a reason, and it's
Exactly.
beautiful to see
That's
it come
exactly
together.
my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought, wow, I didn't know until you said that I could tell my story through poetry. I thought, wow. And so
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, wow, you know, and then when I went away to Tenerife, that was in
Mm-hmm.
January, February, it wasn't until I got back that I realized, well, wow, when the company asked me, I won't mention their name because they wanted funds off of me, contribution, and it doesn't have to cost a fortune. You
Mm-hmm.
know, yes, you need a copy editor. Yes, you need to get it formatted. And obviously, I had to pay someone to get that done. But
Mm-hmm.
the journey was exciting, writing, you know.
Yeah.
So on the plane there was something on Instagram that I was following after meeting some people in that field. And someone I resonated with, a young poet that I loved. I couldn't believe someone could write a poem about chocolate. And what an inspiration. No, not
Yeah.
about chocolate, about chocolates, right? And it
Okay.
sounded romantic. That was my first poetry gig. And I reached out to her in the intermission, very briefly, to the bathroom. And then I said, we must connect. And do you
Mm-hmm.
know, I knew this young girl's mum, this young woman's mum. We didn't
Wow.
know that at the time, but her mother, I used to see when I lived in a place called Hammersmith in London, when I lived in
Okay.
London. And I saw her many weekends, but we didn't know each other to speak to. And I met her mother coming out of one of the poetry events, my third poetry event. Her daughter wasn't there at that event. And we just got talking on the road. And I says, you look familiar, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, oh, my daughter's a poet. We are supposed to connect to people for a
Oh,
reason.
wow.
That
Yeah.
has been my whole life, connecting with
Wow.
people. If I was shy, then I would have got nowhere. I used to be very shy up until
Mm-hmm.
my early 20s. I've had to push myself out there. So, yes,
Yeah.
I've overcome a lot of challenges. Writing a book, I'd never dream of it. Never dreamt of writing a book until
Yes.
I started doing creative writing. I was like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Anybody can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have
That's
confidence at any age.
mm-hmm.
You know, at any age, if you've got a story, tell your story.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't do it to become rich and famous. I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted to write my autobiography, inspired again by Michelle Obama. I bought her
Mm-hmm.
book. I haven't finished it because there's
Okay.
a lot to read, but I felt, wow. When I bought that book, I thought,
Mm-hmm.
she's going to have some big words in there and I'm not going to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I read it and it was like, I felt like I was telling my story.
Okay.
Do you
Wow.
understand?
Yeah.
So in writing my story, that again inspired me.
Mm. Yeah.
Do you know, to think that I'm going to write a poetry book about my life? That was not the plan, but God knew better. And so before I knew it, I tried other poetry, you know, through this flow vortex, you know, every night at 12, a poetry word would come out, a poet would stand and give a word. So I followed that group, which the poet that I met, she also would, you know, they would stand there and recite a poem, and I would like, oh my goodness, that's so good. I wonder if I could try this. And I was on holiday and I was determined to try other types of poems, not about me, but still related to me because I wrote it. So I did that, and that helped to build the first chapter of my book. Are we there? Frozen again? Are you there? Hello? Technology.
Yeah. Can you?
I can hear you.
Yeah, here it goes again. You can hear me? Okay.
Yes,
sorry,
I can hear you clear.
For a second.
Is it raining?
Give me 1 second. No, I don't know what it is.
It's raining over here. That's probably what's interfering. We have bad weather at the moment.
Okay.
It's raining, so maybe that's why.
Okay.
Yeah, but yes, so I tried. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hang on 1 second, because I think my phone is overheating too. Let me turn on the air. Okay. Let's see.
You have a heat wave?
You know, in California, it's like 90-something degrees right now. Yeah, it's pretty warm. So while you guys are having rain, we're having exactly what you called it, a heat wave. Uh-oh, let me turn my camera back around.
I see a question come up. What were some of the challenges in writing in the writing process? The challenges? Well, I didn't really find challenges because I was writing about myself. Maybe finishing. Can you elaborate that question a bit more?
That's a
Can
good
you hear
question.
Me? Sometimes some of the poems were bringing back memories, because it is from my heart that I was writing from, and experiences. They're all snippets of experiences that I've gone through. So it was really tapping back into emotions. And for my autobiography, that would be appropriate, because trying to remember things accurately, that was tricky. Because some of the information I could have from my uncle that I was looking after, Are we there?
I must be frozen. Yeah, are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, it had froze again for a second.
Yeah.
On my end, it froze.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, you can hear me now still? Okay,
Yep,
it's
loud and clear.
Saying I'm back. Okay.
Yeah, so yes, it was trying to remember things for the other book. That was hard. And I suppose I'll never know the answers. So I'm trying to get back on track with the other book, but I'm leaving it till around the same time this year. Something tells me just have this time through the summer, sort out other things going on, sort out my home, and then get back to writing again. It's like the anniversary of when I started. That's what I visualize, that I want to do it again that time. So 31st of October, God willing, every day I thank God that I'm here. I will resume it by the grace of God. But I've written 80,000 words for the autobiography, and I've arrived at age 13. So that just tells you there's plenty more to write.
Yeah.
Plenty more.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
What else do you want to ask me?
Am I from? Are you okay?
I'm here.
I don't know why it keeps doing that. What I want to do is play this game before we go. It's called
Okay.
Let's Rhyme. How you play it is I have a wheel right here. It has words on it. I'm going to spin the wheel, and whatever word it stops on, we have to rhyme. We'll just play one round. Whoever wins gets a point. And so we just go back and forth rhyming with the word. You can't say the same word twice, and you can't say a word that I say. So far, I've played this with 7 other guests, and I'm winning. The score is 4-3. So maybe you'll tie it up. Maybe you won't. No pressure. Are you ready?
Oh dear.
Okay, I'm gonna spin it. Let's see. Oh, the word is win. W-I-N. The word
How
is
appropriate. Twin.
Sin.
Glyn.
Min.
Pin.
Hin.
Bin.
10.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said 10.
Okay. Oh dear. Hen.
I think I said hen already.
Oh, did you? Have we frozen? We froze.
Huh?
You're overheating, girl.
Yeah, I think it's breaking up again.
I can hear you.
Are you there?
I'm still. Hello.
Okay, paused due to poor connection. I'm not sure. Are you there? No. It looks like
I'm here.
Okay. Ah! My goodness.
I'm back. I'm here.
Okay. Well, I think I won that one. I think you.
You're cheating. We froze.
No, I didn't cheat.
How could the first word be win? How coincidental.
I know. I spin the wheel. That's what the word was.
I can't even see your wheel, madam.
I know. Oh, okay. Okay.
Next time I need to see that wheel.
Okay, next time with the person I play with, I will send them a picture of the wheel ahead of time. Maybe that's what it is.
Yes. I don't know how you keep winning.
Oh, yeah, I never thought about that. Okay, I will take your advice. I will do that. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go. We have had a great time, even with all the technical difficulties going on. But thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would want to share? Where can we purchase your book, maybe?
Okay, my book is on Amazon. I've also got the ebook for those who don't want to have a stack of books. I've got the ebook out now. And also on my website for a signed copy, www.remeaise.com. And the spelling for Remeaise is important. It's REMEAISE.com. And you can have a signed copy. May take a little while to arrive, but yes, you're quite welcome because I have my own website, obviously. But yeah, it's been fun getting in touch with you and being
Yeah.
able to personally thank you, not just in, you know, texting, seeing your face and saying thank you for your support and having a fun evening as well.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. And enjoy the
Oh,
rest of your evening.
yeah. You too, my darling. What time is it there?
It is going on 2 o'clock here. So it's still afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
Thank
yep.
you very much for having me as your guest.
You're welcome. God bless. I'll talk to you again. I'll talk to you again a little bit later.
Okay, my darling.
All
Okay,
right.
speak soon.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.
Bye bye.